The original owners of Kona came back in, reclaimed their brand, and they're here to kick some ass. But is it too far gone to save? I think that they have one path forward and they have to play their cards just right. Let's talk about it. Before we get too far down the trail discussing Kona and their path forward, don't forget I'm giving away this carbon fiber Berria Bellador 8.1 road bike here at Evo 1. Check the link down below so you can find out how to win. And also, we are launching the pre-order for our ceramic detailer and waterless wash. Check them out on the website. Every bottle you purchase gets you extra entries to win. It's pretty awesome and you don't want to miss out. Look, if you're not familiar with the whole saga of Kona, what happened is Kona got sold. They were purchased by a bunch of big investors or big investment group. Kent Outdoors, not the same as Kent Bicycles, totally different. They ran it essentially into the ground, did a buy one get one sale. It was a huge flop, and then they put Kona back up for sale. Kona got purchased back by the original founders. It's pretty awesome. I honestly did not expect for this to happen, but I'm really glad it did. In the last video we did talking about how Kona is done, we had so many people engage in the comment section talk about Kona, and I think that that is their core audience and what they need to focus on going forward. Whenever I'm talking to somebody about higher level industry stuff, I like to draw the parallel from the bike industry to the automotive industry. Currently, the bike industry, we faced kind of like a 2008 event. 2008, 2012, that whole stagnation, everything declined, they couldn't sell cars. And then prices started coming up, and brands got very, very specific as to how their marketing went. Now, if we look at Kona, the last video did fantastic talking about them and them being done. Kind of eating my words a little bit because somebody did come in and save them, and I'm glad it happened. And honestly, I have heard rumors that Kona did see that video, and it would not surprise me at all if just comments on there and people getting passionate, getting fired up, reaching out to Kona and saying, hey, we don't want you to go under, you need to come in and do something. I mean, those original founders could have easily just cut ties, said, hey, you know what, we're going to take the money and go buy a Ferrari and a mansion and moved on, honestly. But instead, they are truly passionate about the bike industry, and they came in and said, hey, we're going all in. And I think that's absolutely freaking badass. And if we had more of an attitude like that in the industry, we wouldn't be in trouble. Now, going forward, I think what Kona really needs to do is go right back to the reason they likely bought the business back in the first place and say, hey, look, these riders are passionate, they love our bikes. Everybody kind of has the same story when it comes to Kona. They were either given a Kona, they bought one, and it lasted forever. It was their first bike, or it was their kid's bike. There's so much deep-rooted history. It's kind of like cars. Look at what automotive did. Whenever everybody was failing and flopping, Chevy brought back the Camaro. Dodge brought back the Challenger and the Charger. Chevy brought back the Blazer, which, no, that's not a Blazer, but okay. Ford brought back the Bronco. They went into these high performance or niche categories where their audience wanted that. I think Kona brings back the Stinky. I think they go back to these bikes that they're just so well known for. Not anything with all these crazy, weird, stupid numbers and nomenclature in there, but go back to your roots. Get passionate, throw some crazy paint jobs on there, and really target that core audience and bring back the nostalgia factor. Kona needs to focus and really put themselves in the mind frame of their brand. Right? They're less of a business now. That's what they were for the past few years whenever they were bought out by Kent Outdoors, and they need to get back to being a brand. That's why people buy their bikes. They don't buy them because it's this fancy vernacular name or has some sexy connotation, right? Like process or progress or what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But whenever you say to somebody, I've got a Stinky Deluxe, what? That's a cool reaction, right? The crazy colors, the cartoon graphics. Imagine that bike in a modern remake. Carbon frame, black, green. Oh, I would buy one. I really would. Put it on a coil. It would just be awesome. And they need to bring that back. They need to evoke emotion in people. All these people that got so passionate and so fired up whenever Kona was not looking good and before they got bought back, when there was no hope, everybody was so sad. And I am right there with them because that's one of the last brands that truly give a shit about riders. It's one of the last brands that don't just make bikes to make money. And that's what Kona's always been. That's what they've always stood for. Think about the bikes that people tell stories about. Not your oh, 5, 10 years from now, that style of story. But think about the bikes you hear about from the 80s, right? The GT Performers, the Schwinn Motomags, the Redline Squarebacks, the bikes that whenever people get older and they age out of riding, they hang on the wall. They want to look at. They want that memory back. Look at that. Look at brands like even GT. Like hell, I've got a GT Performer in there that's a modern remake, but it has the classic colorways. And those are the bikes that people still want. Those are the bikes that your core target market, like, yes, they may buy that bike. Your hardcore rider may say, hey, I want that bike because I grew up on Kona. I've always rode them. I owned one back in the day. That's the modern remake. But now they're going to buy all of your rest of your line for their kids, their wife, their friends. They're going to tell everybody else about it, and that's going to continue to sell the rest of your brand. Do you think Dodge's Challenger and Charger, they're the loss leader, but they sell everything else that's on the lot because people come there to buy them, they get hooked on the brand, and then everything else follows. That's how it works. And that's what Kona really needs to focus on. The bikes that have a story, and their story at that. I honestly think that if we comment down below on this video and somebody shares it with them, or maybe they even see it by chance perhaps, I think they might actually listen. I mean, they did buy back their brand, and they've come out and said they're never going to do a BOGO again, so something tells me they're a little passionate. So comment down below what bike you want Kona to bring back, and maybe, just maybe, it might happen. You never know. Don't forget again to check out the links down below in the description. Enter the free road bike giveaway. This is a huge risk, but hopefully it pays off, and hopefully one of y'all wins a dream bike. Also, please check out the EVO 1 products there on the EVO 1 store. Again, it goes towards the entry and everything like that. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.